Hello and welcome back to the Movie Memo Recaps. Today we are going to recap a 2016 movie titled Don't Breathe. Please be advised that there might be spoilers ahead. In the opening scene, an elderly man is pulling a young woman by her hair along a street in what appears to be an abandoned neighborhood. The movie flashbacks to a group of young individuals, two guys and a lady breaking entrance to a luxurious home. One of them, named Alex, disables the alarm before it can sound. As they enter the residence, Alex, who appears the most anxious, repeats their rules about not taking any cash and grabbing only items worth less than $10. They begin to grab the nicest looking items they can get their hands on. Before they leave, they reset the alarm and break the front door window, activating the alarm sound as they flee. Later, they're in their car smoking marijuana and conversing. Alex begins to inform the other two, named Rocky and Money, about another of their pals who is leaving town. They don't seem bothered, claiming that everyone leaves Detroit. They too intend to go to California after the next robbery with no intention of returning. Rocky invites the worried man to join them, but he refuses since he cannot leave his father. They deliver him to his home. He enters and proceeds to his father's study area, where he opens a drawer and returns the key for the house they just looted. His father is a home security guard. Money proceeds to fence the items obtained during the robbery but does not receive as much as he had thought. He has a brief argument with the man who buys his items, but the man informs him that if he wants money he should steal it. He gives him advice on a new job. Money tells his friends everything. It's a house owned by a lone veteran guarded by Alex's father, and located in an abandoned area of town. This gives Alex and Rocky a little confidence, therefore Money explains why they should rob it. The vet's daughter was apparently driven over by an affluent girl, and her family handed him a large payout of at least $300,000. Rocky accepts the concept far more easily than Alex. He's concerned about the implications of seizing such a significant sum for both them and his father's firm. He walks away, and later that day Rocky texts Alex pleading with him to complete the job for her so she can get someone out. Rocky is at home with her little sister, her mother, and her mother's new lover as Alex investigates the vet. He and her mother are both awful. Alex, Rocky, and Money go to the vet's house in the neighborhood to investigate. Alex and Rocky remain alone in the car. She tells him a story from her childhood, and Alex says he'll accompany her. When they finish the job, they will travel to California. When a Rottweiler dog rushes at the girl's window, Money returns to the car and confirms what they already knew about the residence. When an elderly guy requests the dog, Money informs them that he is the vet. They see he's blind and have a brief discussion about how unethical it would be to rob a blind man. They return to the neighborhood that night. The lights are turned off in the vet's office. They begin by feeding the dog meat laced with some sort of medication. When they go to enter the front door, they discover that the keys Alex stole from his father's security company are inoperable. They look for a side door or a window, but all they find is a small window that only Rocky can enter. She enters the residence and disables the alarm with a remote given to her by Alex. On the mantel she notices framed photos of the vet's late daughter. Meanwhile, Alex and Money are awaiting her permission to enter. They enter the residence and begin searching for the safe containing the money, and Rocky searches the wardrobe. Money is sent to the next floor to chloroform the elderly vet, preventing him from waking up. He discovers him sleeping in his room, surrounded by the sounds of a film of his daughter playing as a child. Money gets to start the petrol before the vet wakes up and switches off the TV without noticing him. He moves down, and the three of them discover a bolted door, believing the money is hidden behind it. Money pulls out a revolver and, assuming the vet is asleep, blows the bolt from the door. Alex decides to leave, fearful of how having a gun there may impact things. He removes his shoes from the stack and walks away. Money and Rocky open the door, but the vet pops out of nowhere and inquires as to who is present. The two of them become silent, but he hears Money and begins to follow his speech as he tries to deceive and reason with the elderly man. He shoots at him once to intimidate him, but it has no effect. Outside, Alex hears a gunshot. The vet seizes the rifle from his grasp and shoots him in the head. He has no idea the girl is also present, so she takes refuge in the closet. Alex enters the house and almost runs into the vet, evading him as he sprints around the house, locking the doors and windows. He goes into the toilet to conceal and texts Rocky. He follows her after she informs him where she is hiding. However, before Alex arrives, the vet enters the closet, removes a section of the dry wall to uncover the safe, enters his code, which is completely visible to Rocky, and checks to see if the money is all there. When he discovers that it hasn't been stolen, he closes the safe and walks away, unknowing that Rocky is also inside the closet. Alex enters the closet and proposes that they call the cops. Rocky objects. To his amazement, she opens the safe and grabs the money. Alex believes there is $1 million in there. They decide to depart by the barred door, believing it will lead them through the basement into a hatch leading to the garden. The vet surprisingly arrives inside to dispose of Money's body, but he nearly shoots them when Money's phone rings. He continues doing what he was doing after a little panic, giving them plenty of room to run through the door. He doesn't realize they're there until he discovers their shoes a few moments later. He goes to check on the safe and discovers that the money has vanished. Meanwhile, Alex and Rocky are investigating the basement. They are astounded to discover a female bound with army cables. When she moves, a ring attached to her alerts the vet that something is happening in the basement. While there, Alex and Rocky discover that the girl inside the basement is the one that ran over the vet's daughter. Rocky and Alex resolves to assist her regardless of what she did. They attempt to enter the basement hatch, but the vet is waiting for them in front of it, so he begins firing. In the process, the girl gets shot dead. While Alex and Rocky are running, the vet calls out to his kid, stating that his baby is dead while clutching the dead girl's body. He then pursues them in the vast basement after turning off the electricity. He almost tries to grab them and strangle Alex because they are both blinded in some way, but Alex escapes with Rocky again. The Rottweiler, who is now fully awake, is waiting for them outside the basement. The dog pursues them to the second floor, cornering them in one of the rooms. The windows are barred and it appears that they have no way out. Meanwhile, the vet has caught up with them and is standing outside the room with his dog and a rifle. When she notices a vent on the wall, Rocky and Alex try to find a way out. He instructs her to go through it, and promises to keep the door secure. The old man and the dog break through the doors and attack Alex as she enters the vent. He falls out of the window and lands on a ceiling window on the floor below. Back in the chamber, the dog detects Rocky in the vent and chases her through the hole. She escapes by jumping down a vertical shaft. The vet realizes where Alex is and shoots the window, flinging him to the first floor. Alex flees once more, but this time he finds himself in the room where he stores his gardening tools and where he hid Money's body. He knocks Alex out and stabs him with huge gardening scissors. Rocky awakens in the shaft, injured and in anguish. She begins crawling through the vents again when she notices two openings, one within the home and one outside. The vet snatches her from the other side as she tries to break through the bars at the entryway going outside the house. Rocky awakens in the cellar. She's tied up in the same manner as the other girl. The vet arrives and she begs him to let her leave, promising not to tell anyone about the girl. However, he says that keeping the girl in the basement was not intended as cruelty or retribution for what she had done to his daughter. It was his insane notion that since she had taken his child away from him, it would only be fair. In exchange, she should give him a child. He'd kept her there since she was pregnant with his child. He concludes, using his mad logic, that Rocky is responsible for her death, and that she should be held accountable. Meanwhile, Alex wakes up because the vet had mistakenly stabbed Money's body, which saved Alex. He tricks the dog into entering a room and locks it in there. He then opens the front door where the vet is preparing something in the basement. He informs Rocky that she would now have to bear his child in place of the girl. However, because he is not a rapist, he would not force himself on her, only his sperm. It is revealed that he is heating up his sperm to inject into her. The vet's attempts fail because Alex bursts into the basement at the perfect time. Alex ties up the vet and releases Rocky, who kicks the elderly man among other things. Alex informs Rocky that calling the cops is out of the question at this point, and that they should simply leave the vet chained up in the basement. They take the money and exit the basement through the front entrance. When Alex opens the door, he is shot by the vet, who has managed to escape. Rocky begins to run outside in broad daylight. The vet dispatches his Rottweiler to pursue her. She finally reaches Money's car after a hard chase. However, as the dog catches up with her, she drops the bag with the money outside. Furthermore, while inside the car, she learns that she doesn't have the key. Rocky cleverly catches the dog inside the car, but as soon as she gets out and snatches the bag, the vet grabs her again and pulls her towards his house by her hair. Rocky locates and activates the alarm remote when they arrive. The noise utterly confuses the vet, and she manages to force him down into the basement. As the police arrive at the house, she snatches the money and flees, believing he is dead. Rocky is seated in an airport bar with her younger sister. She hears the news on the pub TV, and the news anchor is discussing what happened. The vet had made it through the autumn. He did not indicate that she was also participating in the heist, or that the money was missing. Maybe Rocky is now free to live her greatest life in California with her sister, bringing the movie to the end. Thanks for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more of these recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.